Alderperson Robinson,
Present.
Hertz,
Here.
Maynard, Swanson,
Here.
Parker,
Here.
Poulos,
Here.
Healy,
Here.
and Mayor Tomes.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Public comment. Looks like we have one. Andy Boswell. You can come on up. Please state your name and your address, please.
And also turn on the mic for yourself,
Yes.
Andy.
Yep.
Andy Boswell, 801 43rd Street, Rock Island. I came tonight to speak on the Skylark zoning issue that was on the agenda. I know it was a zoning meeting before and that was here for the council to approve. I just wanted to say that I'm a neighbor to the business, and the proprietor, Justin, and I have gotten to know each other quite well. In the initial phases of him starting up that business, I had some concerns. I talked to him. He was more than accommodating with the concerns and has checked on me a lot and see how things are going in the neighborhood. He's done some great things. He's improved the facility, and he's bringing a new kind of business component to the neighborhood and to the city in general. And so I want to speak on support of Justin's zoning changes, because what he's doing is bringing, like I said, something to the city that we have not had before. And so I applaud him in his efforts, and I hope that more businesses like his who fit into something we don't already have in Rock Island will come to town and be encouraged by what he's doing.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment that failed to sign up? Okay, moving on to item 6.
Minutes from the June 10th, 2024 study session and city council meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6B.
Minutes from the May 20th, 2024 closed session.
Motion to approve the closed session minutes.
Is there a motion and a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7. Before we go on, I'm sorry. 7B is being taken off the agenda this evening. My apologies. Should have mentioned that earlier. 7A.
Proclamation declaring June 28th, 2024 is Community is Stronger Than Cancer Day. Whereas there are more than 18 million people with a history of cancer living in the United States, and more than 5,480 individuals in the United States may be diagnosed with an invasive cancer in a single day in 2024. And whereas a 2016 report estimated that at least 2.8 million people provided care to a person with cancer in the United States in a given year, and those individuals spent an average of 32.9 hours a week providing for their care. And whereas in the state of Iowa and Illinois continues to grow higher rates of cancer in the United States, and whereas Community is Stronger Than Cancer Day celebrates the community that comes together to support cancer patients, survivors, caregivers, and their loved ones. And whereas Community is Stronger Than Cancer Day was first celebrated in 2021 by 175 cancer support community and Gilda's Club locations across the country, providing community-based support to patients, survivors, and caregivers who have experienced a cancer diagnosis. And whereas Community is Stronger Than Cancer Day will be celebrated by 190 locations in 2024. And whereas in 2023, 264,057 people visited cancer support community adult programs, and 25,950 50 individuals participated in cancer support community, child, teen, and family programs, calling upon their communities for support, education, healthy lifestyle, and social events. Whereas Community is Stronger Than Cancer Day is a celebration of the day of inspiration, companionship, connection, and hope, and where our community is truly a stronger place.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Randy Hurt, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Rock Island, do hereby proclaim February 28th, 2024 to be known as Community is Stronger Than Cancer Day. Lexi Bull of Gilda's Club, you're present. I'd like to meet you down front. If you'd like to say a few words, step up and just turn the microphone. Thank you for your service.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of Gilda's Club. I've been there for about a year and a half now, and I myself didn't know who Gilda Radner was or the legacy that she left behind. For anyone unaware, she was one of the first female SNL comedians, and she kind of was a trailblazer. But she had ovarian cancer, and while she was going through that, she envisioned a place where people could come together and get the support not only for the person with a diagnosis, but also their loved ones. And that's what we're doing today. And we're grateful to be serving the Quad Cities. We actually have 2 locations on both sides of the river, and we've seen a 60% increase since moving near the cancer centers, which is nice because we're able to serve more people. But it means a lot to us to have the support of Rock Island, and we also have 10 other cities proclamating the day in the state of Illinois as well as Iowa. We're waiting to hear back from, but it sounds like they're on board, so it means a lot, and thank you.
Thank you. Item number 8, update Rock Island. Looking for more free music this summer? Return to the Rock Island Public Library's Watts Midtown branch tomorrow for a free performance by St. Louis-based duo, the Cherry and Jerry Ragtime Show. Cherry and Jerry play ragtime classics, early blues, and jazz standards from the 1900s to the 1920s. The free 1-hour performance is at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, June 25th in the Rock Island Public Library Watts Midtown Branch Auditorium, 2715 30th Street. That's a long sentence. Come enjoy more free music Tuesday night. The Starlight Review Concert Series has returned to Lincoln Park for free music every Tuesday through the summer. Hy-Vee Grill starts selling food at 5 p.m. with music and dancing from 6:30 to 8:30. Lincoln Park is located at 11th Avenue and 38th Street. This Tuesday, June 25th, bring a lawn chair and enjoy music from the Night People. Next week's performance on July 2nd will be Troy Rangel and Friends. And finally, congratulations to our Yard of the Month winner, Patricia Adamson of 2547 35th Avenue. Miss Adamson's beautifully landscaped yard caught the eye of her neighbors and members of our Arts and Beautification Committee, who select a winner each month from May to August. We appreciate the work and effort Miss Adamson has put towards making her neighborhood more beautiful. Item 9.
Consent agenda items A through D.
Move to approve consent agenda items A through D.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I do have a question for Mike on the yard waste bags. Is there a chance to work with them to negotiate that price lower in the future since we are now choosing to go with them?
No,
Great, perfect. Yeah. All right.
no, that number that they provided was what it is.
Is what it is. Huh?
Yep.
Okay. Why was the reason the other company couldn't deliver?
We believe that it was an error on their part as far as their cost that they submitted, the price they submitted. We think they transposed numbers, They did honor and deliver 15,000 bags to us at the price that they
Okay.
submitted. So we received some good pricing on bags.
Okay.
But unfortunately, they couldn't fulfill the order.
Okay. Fantastic.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 10,
A, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment in the amount of $574,954.46 to Langman Construction of Rock Island for the 11th Street Water Main Replacement Project.
Move to allow the claim.
Second.
moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Due to the nature of my employment, I need to recuse myself from this vote.
Okay, can I get a roll call, please?
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 10B,
Report from the Public Works Department to approve a purchase in the amount of $48,000 to the City of Moline for a motor grader.
Motion to approve the purchase as recommended.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Being there's none, roll call, please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 11,
A special ordinance to ban parking on the east side of 33rd Street between 15th and 16th Avenues, second reading.
Move to pass the ordinance.
Second.
moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, get a roll call, please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 11B,
Report from the Community Development Department regarding a special use permit amendment request for the city's Park and Recreation Department for the Hobart Carriage House at 1300 24th Street, first reading.
Move to approve the amendment and consider suspend the rules and pass the ordinance.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 11C,
Report from the Community Development Department regarding the purchase of the property at 1203 to 1225 Fifth Avenue Fancy Clock Building from Sunset Park Properties LLC in the amount of $20,000. First reading.
Move to approve the purchase and authorize city manager to execute the documents and consider suspend the rules and pass the ordinance.
Second.
moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 11D,
Report from the Community Development Department regarding a special use permit amendment request from Justin Farley for properties at 4401 7th Avenue and 627 44th Street, first reading.
Move to approve the amendments, consider and suspend the rules and pass the ordinance.
Second.
moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 11E,
Report from the Community Development Department regarding the sale of city-owned property at 920 10th Avenue to Anasiata Nyan Saba and Josephine Ukamanda for $990 plus closing costs, first reading.
Move to approve the sale and authorize city manager to execute the documents and consider suspend the rules and pass the ordinance.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 12A,
Report from the Public Works Department requesting approval to extend the pavement marking program contract with Ostrom Painting and Sandblasting of Rock Island through 2024.
Motion to approve the contract extension through 2024 and authorize the city manager to execute the documents.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 13.
A report from the mayor's office regarding an appointment to the Preservation Commission.
Move to approve the appointment as recommended.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 14.
Report from the city clerk's office regarding request from Todd Sorrell for sound amplification and to close the alley between 29 and 29 and a half streets and 21 and 22nd Avenues on Saturday, July 6, 2024 from 6 to 9 p.m. for a block party.
Move to approve the request as recommended.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Healy,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Hurt,
Aye.
Swanson,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
and Pulis.
Aye.
Item 15, other business. Anyone have anything to discuss?
Yes, I'd like to bring something up. A couple weeks ago, I submitted a request to council to put on the agenda support of Solar City in an amount of $45,000 from the city. That request was denied, and I just want to bring some clarification to the discussion. Some of us up here, we ask for festivals. We ask for, the city, we need some festivals. I don't know what qualifies as a festival besides an event that's been going on for 40 plus years. We have now joined up with another event that's been going on for 10 years, Polyrhythms Jazz Fest. We ask for documentation. We want numbers. We want to make sure that we're bringing in people from outside to attract them to the city of Rock Island. Those events do that. In the early years of Family Fun Day, we brought in 12 drill teams from all over the country. But bringing in close to 6,500 people to watch this event. Now we have a parade that's going on. We have a 2-day event. It's actually extended to a 2-day event. So the event has been renamed Soul the City to bring in those two organizations together. But for some reason, council sees that's not sufficient enough to support. Even though in our past years, we've supported Gumbo Yaya, we've supported You're Making My Weekend in amounts of $75,000. This is a one-time request, but when asked, well, what was the issue with the request? We don't want to support a one-time event. I think that's appropriate. You don't want to support anything longer than 1 year. And that was the thing. It was a one-time request. The committee is actually working on fundraising, working on sponsorships, so we wouldn't have to come to the city again. So it's almost like a seed being planted. The number of people that we have in attendance at this event now grosses over 5,000. But we were easily able to support the Botanical Center with their struggling debt that they had. We supported Backwater Gamblers. We supported QC Arts. So I don't know where the invisible line from 18th Avenue and 17th Street, and that prevents people from coming down and recognizing a community event. It's a citywide event, but we failed to support that. So at this time, I'm really disheartened that it did not come to the agenda so that we can have a discussion and actually have a vote to see if it was worthy of spending the $45,000 for that 2-day event. I wish my council, my cohorts would have contacted the committee, had them had some questions, if whatever you didn't feel comfortable with. We provided an itemized document. We provided a historical document from the beginning to now. Family Fun Day will be celebrating 50 years next year. Again, this year for the Jazz Fest, Polyrhythms Jazz Fest, they're celebrating 10 years. Those are not fly-by-night festivals. They've been here and they withstood the test of time. So I'm a little disheartened that it wasn't supported by the city, but I pray that we can get past whatever this division we have. I don't know what it is, but it's obvious. The residents of the first ward and some of the city see the division. We see where we put support into. We see what we actually fund. And the residents, they can see it. So when you hear City of Rock Island doesn't care about us, actions like this kind of solidifies that. And it's sad that I had to make this comment here instead of it going on the vote and then allowing it to be displayed to the public the appropriate way. But that's it. Thank you.
Anything else anyone would like to discuss?
Well, okay, I will respond to this. So I would like to clarify that Gumbo Yaya and You Make My Weekend, we did provide seed money for those events, and revenue was returned back to us. So it wasn't a gift. It was an investment where revenue was returned back to us. And I don't believe in that document there was anything that indicated any revenue would come back to the city for the seed money. And I'm going to defer to Alderman Parker because my understanding was the money for that tourism was to be used for long-term projects that would bring in tourists year round, which is one of the reasons why the money was given to the Longview Park, the Friends of Longview Park, for the greenhouse, which was a permanent structure that would help bring people in year round. And I believe the money that was given to Quad City Arts, the Botanical Center, and Backwater Gamblers was given to them because of the permanent structures they have that bring in people weekly, yearly, and all of that. And I don't think that anyone's picking on any particular ward or demographic of people, but I don't feel that the purpose of that money for the tourism was to be used for a festival. There may have been other money and other funds available to be used for that, but I'm going to ask Alderman Parker to weigh in on this, but that was my understanding, was that this money was being withheld for tourism for things that would be bringing people in either year-round or monthly, seasonally.
Alderman Parker, before you respond, can I just make a quick comment? I don't know the logistics with You Making My Weekend and Gumbo Yaya. I guarantee you half of the residents within the city don't understand that either. If there was a mistake made with a request from the certain account, again, that could have easily been rectified by shooting an email back or having a conversation with myself and say, hey, maybe tourism isn't the right account to request the money from, but maybe we can find it somewhere else. Maybe we can give you some. Or is it possible that the revenue that you receive from that can come back to the city? The Martin Luther King Center is a city organization. The funds are held in city funds. So it is city funds that come back to the city. So it's not like it's going to someone and then it's magically being distributed out to whoever's over the committee. That was the reason of us, and I'm saying us, but there's a committee that actually puts this on. I sit on the committee, so I'm speaking in favor of that. But it's not a money grab. It's not a festival to collect money and then to just run with it. Again, it withstood the test of time. 50 plus years, 10 plus years. They're not just making a living off of this. They're doing it for the citizens of the city of Rock Island. We have always try to include everyone from the city, even though everyone from the city doesn't come. And I'm not going to say that no one supports, because when I'm sitting in that park at 10 o'clock and that last band plays, there's multiple white, Hispanic, Black, African faces that leave that parking lot or that park and go home and talk about the wonderful event that they had. It would be a little bit better if we had the support of the 45,000 to help manage bringing in bands. and to give us a seed so we can go to sponsors. It's a help. It's not giving. It's just a help. But I'll leave it at that.
2 points of clarification from my perspective as Fifth Ward Alderperson. I apologize, Alderperson Swanson. I'm not aware of money that the city has received from Gumbo Yaya and You Make 'Em My Weekend. I remember when I was first elected, the city programmed, I don't remember, $25,000, $30,000 for one of the events. The city never got any money back. I mean, the idea, of course, with festivals is that people go to them and patronize the downtown businesses and whatnot. And then, of course, the beverage tax and the sales tax that the businesses generate during the events does come back to the city, but it's not like the district 501c6 organization ever gave money back to the city. So, point of clarification there. And then secondly, regarding the tourism money, like I explained in my request for the Friends of Longview, the results of trying to figure out what to do with the tourism money has been frustrating, to say the least. Originally, it was my intention, and I can only speak for myself because Alderperson Gilbert was the co-chair, or whatever we want to call it, for the task force, or again, whatever we want to call it. But it was my intention to use this money as seed funding for long-term sustainable tourism programming in the city of Rock Island. I was thinking more organizational, like a Visit Rock Island kind of an organization, similar to our regional partners at Visit Quad Cities, but that didn't work out for reasons that we can get into outside of this arena if you want. But after that didn't work out, there was no real conclusion as to how to spend this tourism money. I would agree, broadly speaking, that how we spend the money should be used for long-term sustainable investment, like the structures, whether it be the lagoon or the conservatory at Longview Park. However, that's just kind of my opinion. There's no hard or fast rules that the task force ever assigned for the tourism money. And then the last thing that I would say is to Alderperson Robinson, I appreciate you bringing this up. Prior to tonight, I did not know that was the decision made. For what it's worth, I'm open to continuing a conversation. I suspect my colleagues on city council are open to continuing a conversation. Perhaps this initial request was a no, but for what it's worth, I desire to bridge the gap between the Soul of the City event and the rest of the city, or more broadly speaking, the First Ward, the West End, whatever we want to call it, with the rest of the city. So I hope that we can continue the conversation because it's a good event. The city has supported festivals in my ward, and therefore I feel like I should do the same in other wards as well. So the door's not closed in my book, and I hope to continue having conversations. Thanks.
Okay, so follow up on that, Miles, don't mean to put you on the spot, but did we not have an agreement where we gave an individual who was helping to get bands with the festivals money with the understanding that they would pay us back from gate fees?
My recollection of that agreement was basically that it was a service agreement where we were paying them to put on the events. So we were just paying them to organize it, not that they would ever pay us back in a direct way. Alderman Parker, I think, is correct in characterizing it as like you're bringing business to the community. People are spending money in the community and patronizing businesses that will be near the event. So in that indirect sense, we would be paid back, quote unquote. But there was not an understanding, I believe, with that individual who I spoke with at the time, that they would in any way reimburse the city for having done those events. It's also my understanding that they, and I can't confirm this, but that they did not come out on top financially with those final iterations of those events you mentioned. So really, we paid them to put them on in their kind of final flush, and they didn't necessarily turn a profit. So it may well have been something that was discussed as one of the alternatives at the time. I know that at the point that those things were being kind of put together. There was an interest in trying to see if those events were still worth doing. So it was sort of the city was trying to push them forward just to see how they would go. And I'm sure a lot of different things were discussed at the city manager level at that time. I don't recall, however, any sort of formal final agreement where that individual was going to in any way reimburse the city. It was just a payment for services.
Okay.
That's my recollection.
Okay. And then also the other thing is, was council not asked last year to give $25,000 to this event? Because one of my concerns was we were asked for $25,000 last year. This year we were asked for 45, and so my concern was what would be the ask for next year, and none of that was made clear. So I just wanted to bring up why my concerns.
Fair enough. I don't remember if a request was made. I don't know.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. We're going to go to item 16.
Closed session. A5 ILCS 122C21 discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under this act, whether for purposes of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by section 2.06. B5 ILCS 122C11 litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the findings must be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
Move to enter closed session for exception cited.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we're now in closed session.